Guys, I have a confession to make. I'm obsessed with staying lean. I don't want to bulk, and I'm actually quite scared of bulking, to be honest. I don't want to put any body fat on. And although I'm relatively lean, as you can see, in my face and, neck area and whatnot, I might just start slamming a bunch of GLP-1s. Oh wait, actually no, I meant this guy probably is. Now, this kind of personifies an issue in the fitness industry at the moment, in my opinion. But first of all, let's just analyze his physique, because in my opinion, he's way too underweight. We have an obsession nowadays with being lean, with being shredded, with having abs. Well, it's good to have abs, but not this lean, as well as the vascularity and whatnot. It's just stupid. Now, I'll get onto the health risks and the issues with all of this stuff later, but for now, let's just, again, analyze his physique. He hasn't built that much muscle, so he would benefit from getting a little bit chubby, And also, he should probably get off of the PEDs. Now, what I mean by this is, okay, naturally there are some people who are going to be leaner than others, but I don't think anyone naturally now is going to be this shredded unless they intentionally, as well as this vascular as well. Like, that's my only opinion. He's most likely on things like potentially Clen, potentially Anavar, GLP-1s like retatrutide or tirzepatide or something like that. He even has a little bit of gyno, which is, why would he have gyno? He could have that from puberty, for instance, because he is a younger guy, or he could be taking testosterone in some way, which then could be aromatizing, but he's not that big. Like, is he really doing substitution like TRT? Is he really taking exogenous friggin' forms of testosterone whilst being this lean? That's kind of what Alex Eubank did, to be honest. And I want to talk about influencers and stuff later as well. But Alex Eubank was like lean and he wanted to stay lean all the time because that was kind of his brand image. And so he basically just decided to hop on TRT just to maintain that look. But like I said, I'll get onto that later because it wasn't always like this.
My job is for social media, right? Like I do better. I'm known for being aesthetic and lean. When my body is like lean and aesthetic, I feel like shit. I feel like less of a man. My sex drive is shit. My sleep is shit. Bad energy, brain fog. It just isn't fun. Like when I have to be lean and like my test is at like 300, it just isn't a fun. Like I don't like it. But then when I'm a little bit more bulked up and fatter, I feel a lot better, but I don't like that look as much personally. I'm always like, if I could be 10% body fat or whatnot, like year round, but feel really good still, I have like a crazy sex drive of like crazy, brain is dialed in all the time, really good energy, really good sleep, basically all the effects you have when you are at a higher level of testosterone, like feeling like a man, like a good, like hard ass man.
If we go back to the days of old, I'm talking about like late or friggin' early 2010s, mid 2010s or whatnot, right? There wasn't this hyperfixation on being shredded. Now, don't get me wrong, you're going to have guys that stand out, anomalies, if you will, legends, if you will, like Ziz, for instance. That guy was, of course, lean most, if not all the time. And you have guys like Jeff Seid, but Jeff Seid was an Olympia level athlete. You have guys as well like friggin' David Lade, but again, this guy is an anomaly. Do you know what I'm saying? Most of the guys in the fitness industry weren't this like friggin' shredded all the friggin' time. And they weren't even that big either in regards to like being mass monsters or whatever, like most people are on social media nowadays. But still.
You have like adjustable lighting right here. You can change it. Check the physique out. A little too bright for me. Dim it up. Now we got a rave in here, baby.
I also think people understood the idea of peaking as well. For instance, let me just explain it to you in bodybuilding terms. Bodybuilders have an off season, and in this time they put on fat, but of course the main aim of it is to put on more muscle. So yes, they would be out of shape. They're still going to be relatively lean in regards to like everyday terms. They'll have abs and whatnot, some vascularity, but they wouldn't be stage ready. Then, of course, they go into a prep. This can be, 8, 12, 14, sometimes 16 weeks and whatnot, where basically their aim is to hold on to the muscle that they gained, as well as shedding that body fat so that they can become stage ready. They then get on stage. That's the best that they'll look all year, depending on how many shows they do. And then they'll just rebound, do a PCT, and then do an off season again. They don't stay the same all year round. Of course, they don't want to stay kind of chubby all the time, but they don't want to be lean all the time because that comes with risks. And I think guys understood that back in the day as well. Like, you don't want to be like that all the time. Someone like Overkill, I think his name's Joe Kellel or Joe Kell, this guy. Natty Arnold is what I know him as. He has the same mentality. Yes, his Instagram is filled with pictures of him in shape, but he's basically explained in videos before that he does peak. There'll be a time of the year where he peaks. He may do a bodybuilding show or two. He'll get as many images as possible at landmarks, in his house, at the gym and whatnot, and he'll post them throughout the year. He won't look like that year round, but he gives that persona that he is.
Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Hit the thumbs up. As always, that thumbs down button is broken. I'm so sorry. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.
However, if we then come back around to today, everyone has this hyperfixation then on being lean, having friggin' abs, like crazy shredded abs, going, when they do like this and they have the friggin' veins down there. I'm sure you know what I mean, right? Or they have the veiny legs and whatnot. There's a hyperfixation on that. And you very rarely see guys embracing the bulk, embracing the chub, embracing the ugly. Be the guy who embraces the ugly. Because guys like Lex Jiggle did that. Sam Sulek has done that recently. Yes, he's out of shape, but bro, he's in his off season for bodybuilding. He'll come back down and be stage ready soon enough. Trend Twins have done off seasons and whatnot, but like this guy in the video I showed you just then, bro, there's obsessions with being lean. And it's an issue because there are so many problems with being lean all the freaking time. Physical, mental, and hormonal. There's mainly three things that, bro, you're going to have issues with all three of them. And I want to go into each one. And I'm sure if you've had a cut before, like an aggressive cut or a long-term cut, you'll know exactly what I'm on about. When it comes to physical stuff, you're actually going to be more prone to injure yourself. A lot of bodybuilding injuries actually occur in a prep. For instance, Nick Walker in 2023 pulled his hamstring only, I think, a week or two out from the Olympia. Bodybuilders like Dorian Yates pulled his bicep in 94 during his prep and his tricep in 97 during a prep. Not to say that you won't incur injuries during your off season. For instance, someone like Kevin Levrone tore his pec during 1993 roughly in his off season. Now, of course, that comes with issues of steroid use, but still. Sticking on the issues of staying lean, you're going to be having issues with your joints, for instance, knees, elbows, wrists, and whatnot, especially if you're continuing to lift very heavy, potentially doing compound movements. These can become an issue. You're also going to have stuff like, I'm not sure which category this falls into, but worse sleep quality. You're not actually going to have a lot of sleep. Bodybuilders talk about hyperfixation on food when they're sleeping, like they can't sleep because they're so hungry. And this is actually another thing which would be a mental issue, which is hyperfixation on food, as I just mentioned. Have you ever just sat there on a cut and you just want to eat? That's all you can think about is food or your next meal. And even when you're eating that next meal, bro, even when you're sat there eating the meal, you have a level of anxiety thinking, yo, when I finish this meal, like that's it, like I can't eat until this next time. Do you know what I'm talking about? You also have stuff like lack of focus. You also have stuff like lack of energy, motivation, discipline. They kind of all wrap up in the same thing. They're quite synonymous, but you get my point. Another issue, which is the main issue that people talk about, which is testosterone production. Your testosterone production is going to slow down quite a lot to the point where it's going to get to that lower level of your natural sort of range. Some people even go hypergonadal when they're doing a freaking cut. Or actually, if you're this lean, as in the video I showed you before, bro, the guy's probably hypergonadal unless he's having an exogenous form of testosterone, which he could be because he has gyno. Now, those are sort of the main side effects, but some solutions for that are being kind of fat, getting chubby, going to a healthy body fat percentage. That's going to be the main thing. Don't stay this friggin' lean all the time. That being said, though, I have a proposal and I'd actually like to hear your guys' input on this. What is your opinion on this? Because I've heard people say, look, I've cut naturally. This is people's opinions now. I've cut naturally for X amount of time, or I've done an aggressive cut naturally, and my testosterone's been completely in the bin. I've had no energy whatsoever. However, I have utilized, not particularly PEDs in regard to anabolic androgenic steroids, but I have used peptides, things like retatrutide and tirzepatide. You can even throw in stuff like BPC 157 as well as TB 500 for that recovery, as I was talking about earlier, having issues whilst recovering on a cut.
And Kyle had me use that retatrutide.
Yep.
You know, just for more of an appetite suppressant, so I'm not starving in prep.
Right.
And it worked.
Yep. It
Like,
works really well.
tremendously.
Yeah.
But it kept me I think in a much better mood.
Right. For sure.
And it also burned fat.
Yeah.
Really, really, to the point where, bro, like, I didn't need to do a lot of cleanse,
Right.
any large amount of T3, like nothing.
No.
Everything was very low. And I do think it was because of that added little peptide.
It's very interesting. I've never done it before, to be honest, and I would look to do that in the future, potentially. But yeah, because the studies show quite interesting stuff when it comes to this stuff. A lot of bodybuilders have actually been throwing this stuff into their mix as well. Nick Walker has actually been posting a lot on his story recently about these specific compounds, BPC 157, TB 500, retatrutide, for his ongoing prep for the Olympia this year. So I'll be interested to see how people utilize this who aren't particularly bodybuilders. But again, I want to hear your opinion, because at the end of the day, it does baffle me when people want to be this lean. That's a huge issue, but it does interest me when I see stuff like this. Not specifically just going straight to anabolics, but using other things that are starting to like creep up now.